Why we wait for Roxon to get here with the main part of the conversation, does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about Discord-wise that I could address? Whether it's something you want to know about it, something you'd like to see implemented, or if you're interested in helping me uh, work on it and manage it, because I do need somebody else to start kind of stepping up and taking it over with me, because I'm going to be gone for about a month in July, so.
Well, I just wrote something, which is kind of a good idea in general, using Eve time for plates.
Okay. See if I can. There might be a Discord bot I can get so people can also add if they're not in game at the time. Anything else?
Yeah, I was wondering what the specialized roles are, where we had to like choose an emoji and stuff. What's that about?
So that was just so you guys can break it off into smaller groups. So if you guys have something pertinent to your industry that you guys are in, or your PvP or PvE, you guys can have your own chat where it's not going to get cluttered up in general chat with somebody else like starting talking about something else. It's so you guys can get together and focus on what you guys are working on. That was the whole point of it. It's just the easiest way for me to be able to give you guys those roles and those channels for you guys to talk in without me having to sit there and directly give you each of the roles. This way you guys can just go in there and pick them. And if there is anybody in here that is just a member, they've moved up from recruit to member and they still haven't selected a specialized role, you can do so once you hit level 3. A new text channel is going to pop up for you guys called server roles. And that goes on for you newer players also that are still recruits. Once you hit level 3 in the Discord, you can go ahead and select those roles you would like. You're also welcome to pick more than one.
How do I level up?
So leveling
You
up.
just have to
by writing in the Discord.
go ahead.
Yeah, so every minute to 2 minutes, it will accept a message from you and give you 15 to 30 points based off of it. So you can't just spam over and over. It has to be a bit of a time difference in between. Best way to do that, rookie questions, go ahead and answer it. Or if you have a question yourself, ask it. Just be sociable on here. And it's, I think, something like 25 messages in total. And so if you're sending a message, like maybe once every 10 minutes, knock that out in a day. It's not.
Yeah, and also, guys, don't be shy to use the Discord. We really want it to be popping and active so that we can easily get together and play the game like it's supposed to be.
You should honestly be having a lot of if you guys are asking questions and stuff, don't necessarily just ask it in Eve itself. Chances are somebody else is going to have the exact same question. If you ask it on here, there'll be a log that somebody else can go back and look at so you guys can, ask it for them again. Or so they don't have to ask it again, they can just go ahead and see it right there. I'm going to work on trying to freshen up rookie questions so it's more of a question-answer format. We'll see how that works, though. Anything else? Anything people would like to see added onto it? I know last time we had a court meeting, people suggested a music bot, and we were able to successfully implement it in here. Is there anything else along those lines you guys would like to see? It doesn't have to be straight Eve related, just anything you can think of that would help improve the Discord.
What is a music
Actually,
bot?
I do have something.
Okay. Real fast, I'm gonna answer the music bot. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the music tab. If you go in there, so put your voice in the music channel, and then on MusicBot, you're just going to go ahead and !join if the bot's not in there. It'll cause the bot to join, and then you can do !play followed by whatever you want it to search for, and it will search for that. It will search for the first thing it finds with that tag, and it will then play it in that chat. And then when you're done and nobody else is in there, just !DC and it'll disconnect.
Provided the music is on YouTube.
Yes, it searches for it on YouTube.
All right, and then the suggestion that I wanted is maybe we might be able to have a channel provided or an area provided where people will be able to click on the hot links for helpful information. Because I got some links that could be useful for industry that is shared amongst some of the higher members that I'd like to be able to like, go here, you can click on it, add your information to the group, so that way we can keep things updated, you know? Because right now I got like two Google Docs that I'm
just made it.
Awesome.
All I ask
Thank
is
you.
everybody in here, don't talk about stuff in there. Just put down links. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to restrict it. Only certain people will be able to put stuff on there. I don't want to have to do that, so just try to keep it free of chatter. If I do see it, I'm just gonna go in there and delete it, so it's only links and stuff for people.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Also, is the background noise too much? I'm at work while I'm listening to all this, so I might have to mute occasionally.
You're fine.
Your background noise is fine. You are a little hard to understand, but it's doable.
Okay, cool. I just need to speak up then if that's the case on that part. I think. I don't know. I'm standing right next to an oven, so.
For me, it sounds more like a problem with your microphone.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is. Might
Sounds fun.
step on it a couple times.
But it is very serviceable, though. You'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
So I have a question about in-game. So I've mined couple of ores, and I need to create a refinement contract. So how should I do it so it not looks like I'm just giving out ore for free?
You're gonna contract to Onichi. That's UMICHI, ONICHI.
Yeah,
That's,
okay.
my character.
The private contract.
Yeah, do a private contract and make sure you label it refine. Otherwise, I assume it's an ore gift to the court.
So how do you do it? You're just like looking for private contracts, then you take all the ore that contain in it and then refine and send it all the refined materials back, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
right now
okay.
it's a little tumultuous when it comes to the reprocessing. Because I've been getting a bunch of orders that are like costing me $500,000 to reprocess. And so I've been letting people know I do free refining for the entire corp. But if I start like spending like 11 million in one day, I'll generally start asking people to do like half price on the refining. Sorry, to get that done.
Yeah, okay. Okay, affirmative.
Thank you. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I would figure. But yeah, so you would contact me. There's a couple other people that you can hit up. There's I think Honest. I don't know if Honest is volunteered yet, but you could ask Honest if they are on, if they'd be if he'd be willing to do that for you. And the same would go with a couple other people. I have to get the list, but there's like 2-3 people you can go to that have at least level 3 in the basic ores. So it's beneficial.
Okay, affirmative. Thank you.
No problem.
And also, what are the people that I can talk to about mining? Because I'm relatively new into the game, but not so long time ago, I bought myself and trained for a T2 mining chip, and basically, I'm really lost in the mining. I don't know actually what to do. So basically, I'm just going to the asteroid belt, mining the Weldspar or some another basic ore, and just go into Trade Hub and selling it raw, because
Well,
I don't know what to do with it anyway. So if it will be any kind of people that can explain me actually what to do and how to make profit from this, or the how actually the mining is going the right way, it will be very much appreciated.
I can say something about that. Shall I? Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
relatively
go
new.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You can check out there are certain ores that naturally would sell better. You know, if you say umber, silver is better and golden is even better. So they will probably sell for a bit more, and you shouldn't sell directly, but look at the market. There are buyers at the downside.
Yeah.
If you have this, and then put it in a ship and fly there and sell it there.
Okay.
But pay attention if there is a minimum that you have to deliver, because that's mostly pretty much. So yeah.
the other thing is you want to make if you're in Tech 2 mining ships. Give me 1 second. I'll answer that question.
Yeah, sorry
if you're
guys.
in Tech,
Umi's at work.
yeah, sorry. If you have a Tech 2 mining ship, are you talking about the Venture mining ships or like Hulk, Mackinac?
No. Currently I'm in Procure.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about the mining barges.
Yeah,
One of the things that you could do to make profit that's not mining ores is you can skill into ice mining, and that'll generally get you a better profit dragging it to the market than trying to find high tech ores to make money off of.
Oh, okay. So the ice is more profit in the raw.
Yeah, and
Than the raw.
the corporation will be using ice and buy some of the material that you can reprocess from ice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One thing with transporting ores, I would suggest either flying to, well, ice you can't, you're kind of limited, but if you're going to do ore belts, asteroid belts, fly to the region or 1 or 2 jumps away from where you're planning on selling it, instead of trying to ship, 10 jumps away back and forth. The other thing is to find a player owned station that offers reprocessing and compress the ore. It's a 100 to 1 ratio. So for if you're doing ice mining, each 1 unit of ice is 1,000 metric or 1,000 cubic meters. That compresses down to 100 cubic meters.
Okay.
You can mine for several hours, compress it all down, and then transport it to where you want to sell it. And you'll get more for compressed ore than you will for non-compressed ore.
And I'll say that for ice. Ice, you'll definitely get a better price for compressed ice than standard ice. People like the convenience of not dragging 1,000 in free, 200 blocks.
Okay. Yeah, I understood that. Thank you. And also, what are about the PvP? Because I heard about the PvP on Mondays, but I actually never saw that the fleet was running some PvP, and I'm actually really wanting to get into this. I bought an Caldari ECM ship for this. I'm not really skilled with this, but I can use um, all the components of the ship just fine. But I'm actually never found a fleet that runs PvP, so it would be much appreciated that someone would.
I'm very sure that the topic that'll be brought up today is something about PvP.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just the last 2 weeks, Roxon hasn't been very active with the corp because he's been busy training for his promotion. So once we find out what he's planning on doing, and we can get more activity. But it also just falls on people getting together to get that activity going too. Don't rely on higher ups to always get your activities going, even though they should be like the industry people getting miners out mining and producing goods and stuff. And the same deal is like if we got a mining fleet out, we might as well try and get a little melee fleet
The
out.
defenders of the mining fleet, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And usually it only takes like 1 or 2 people to go help the mining fleet, watch the mining fleet and stuff like that. Probably more if you go into world.
Yeah, but actually I'm talking about dedicated PvP flights, not like the just defending the miners, but just like some kind of cave camping or I don't know. So basically, if there is some activity like the defending the miners, I'd rather go take a mining barge and mine the ore for the profit rather than go there and just chill in the battleship that I actually will never use.
So EVE is a very social game. Like we are in between fleet commanders right now, so we are going to be having fleet commanders soon that will run regular PvP and PvP stuff. But you don't have to wait for fleet commanders.
One more thing,
like Umi said.
Easy one at a time.
Yeah, we don't need to wait for fleet commanders like Umi said. You guys can just fleet up, get your own groups going, and just PvP that way. It's a very loosey goosey game. You guys can just take initiative and just do it.
Yeah, because it's like I want to like be helping you guys do PvP content and roaming fleets and stuff, but it's like at the same time I'm mining and talking with industry all the time and trying to get stuff done. So it's kind of hard for some people to stretch out their availability to get that content going. So it does take those people that are able to do the content, getting out there and getting people to do it.
Yeah. Okay. And I'd like to ask that today I received an email from EVE University. So I was applying about a month ago. So I'm planning to go there and learn some stuff. And is it okay to? I don't know how is it going on in EVE. So can I just do to be in 2 corps at the same time, or in need to leave one corp and join another?
So I can answer that for you. EVE University, in a sense, it is helpful for newer players to learn stuff, but they also take it a bit of a sort of a role play style too, along with you learning. So most of their documents and stuff you can find online. The biggest trade-off for you going to them is the fact they are geared for helping out with new players, but a lot of the stuff that you would get answered there, you can most likely find somebody in here to answer also. So as far as being in 2 corps, a character can only be in a single corp. if you're to make a secondary character and go to Eve University on that one, you could be in that one on this one. But as soon as you try to get into that corp, you have to leave this corp. So it's one or the other.
Yeah, okay.
But again, all the Eve University stuff you can find online. You can find their videos. You can find their wiki page. Everything everything they would have to teach you, you can really just. So it's up to you. It's a great place for newer players to go learn stuff, but all the information they're going to teach you is on public space on internet. So.
Okay,
I'd
okay,
also
understood.
like to point out that the Eve University Corp, it is a rookie help corporation, but it's not an endgame corporation like we are going to
So
be.
I
Like
think
we're going to get to
one more
endgame.
thing about the corp that is I need to be brought down is it's not really that much new player friendly. So the it's not many asking and answering on questions and not many interactions with newbies. So I'd propose that the corp would have some newbie fleet or something and some mentors dedicated to it, so the new players can teach stuff and instead of going in something like Eve University or looking it up online, because I'm actually doing the research and looking at this all up online, but for the most time it's not really helping that much, or after that I have many questions to answer, and it would be nice that in the corp we will have some couple of dedicated players, maybe 5 that will be free to be asked with questions, or will be will know some dedicated thing like mining or PV or industry
So
that
we
that they can teach, or yeah, okay, go ahead.
we do have that. Over on the right side, where it shows the list of the people that are on right now, you'll see there's an
Yeah,
industry tag, the PvE tag, the mining tag, and then
yeah,
there's
yeah,
also PvP. Like if you right click on somebody, you can see the roles, and you'll see that like I have the PvP tag, I have the PvE tag. You can multiple people have different roles. They can only show one of them on that side, so it's not the easiest way to see everything. But the big thing is you can ask any one of them. We have the rookie questions chat also within the Discord. Ask away there. Ask for, hey, if somebody's online, can you teach me how to search for wormholes? And then you can also at the exploration. There's the exploration rank. You can at that, and it'll send out a message to anybody that's in exploration. And if somebody's on, they can come on and help you out with that.
yeah, okay,
But
thank you.
we have multiple ways for you to reach out to us. You just need to go ahead and reach out to it. So you can ask within Eve Online. That's perfectly fine. If somebody's on at the time, they might be able to see it and help you out. But your best way, again, is to ask the questions here in the Discord and rookie questions. Because if there isn't somebody online that knows the exact answer to the question you're asking, chances are they might come on an hour later and be able to answer it for you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
That's, again, why I'm pushing so big for ask all your questions here if you can. Because if that person that has the answer isn't online, they're never going to see that in Eve Online because they're not on there for the general chat to see. Here,
Oh,
they
okay,
can look at it at any time and see it. So, again, I'm
sure,
pushing.
sure.
If you have questions, asking rookie questions, ping people within that industry to try to help you and stuff. Hopefully, they're not going to get too annoyed with the pinging. Again, at this point, we're all supposed to be working together to help each other grow. So, just help each other out. That's all I can really say. If you know the answer to the question, take 10 seconds to go ahead and type it out, or take 20 minutes in the game to help somebody learn how to scan down an anomaly.
Yeah, okay, roger that. How do you make profit in Eve? So like some decent profit, because all the stuff that I was making my profit with is what was the exploration, but as I was scanning the wormholes, the data and relic sites in them are mostly protected by NPCs, and as I think I need some better exploration ship like Stratus or Estero to kill the NPCs and do the data and relic sites. The mining is not very profitable too, because I'm doing like 2 million in an hour, or
So
maybe four, because for the exploration it's like 10 million ISK per hour.
I got a quick question for you. Are you an
Yeah.
alpha or an omega clone?
I'm Omega.
Okay. Are you still mining in Adventure?
No, I have a mining board.
Okay.
Recur.
Cool. So the big thing with that, you can continue mining with that and going along that in that direction, and you should be making, I think it's like 8 mil an hour if you're using a barge. It should be more than 2 mil. Venture's usually about 2 mil. But start saving up the money you get from there. And honestly, I would suggest this to everyone. If you're kind of tight on money, start up by doing some mining. Save up probably, I don't know, up to you're gonna take time to have to learn the skills after this too. So during that time you're learning the skills, just be mining and save up about 100, 200 mil. Get yourself a Vexor Navy issue or some sort of drone ship, and start doing the Velcor family missions that are in our home system. Because once you with a Vexor, and about the time it take you to learn the skills and stuff for it would be about the same time you have enough money to be able to fly one. You'll be able to roll level 3s on your own. And you're always welcome to join me on level 4s, and I'll split the profit half and half. But right now, or when I was doing level 3s, I was making probably 20 mil an hour. And now that I'm doing level 4s, I mean, just yesterday alone, just in the salvage from the ships, I picked up 60 mil, and I was getting 4 mil a kill on certain battleships. Like, once you get into level 4s, you make money very, very fast. For that, you're going to need something a little bit bigger than a Vexor, unless you're running with somebody else. And again, you are more than welcome to go ahead and join me, and I will split the profit in half. So, feel free at any time to...
That's probably your quickest way to make money, is get yourself into a combat ship, talk to the people that are running level 4 sites, so that way you can get the proper fittings done for, like you said, like a Vexor or something, and then just run sites, because like you said, one day you can make like
once we move into nullsec, that's when mining starts to become very profitable again. Mining is a fantastic way for you to start out with your beginning ISK on this game, but you need to move. If you're staying in high sec, you need to move into something else. You're just not going to make the money that would benefit your time in high sec doing mining. So I would suggest getting some money from mining and then using that to start funding for some PvE. And once we move into nullsec, you can stick with doing PvE, or you can go back to mining.
Is there some PvE ships that you can still recommend? Because I'm Caldari. I'm trained something for a little bit of rockets and missiles and shields. So I planned to fly some kind of PvE caracal with heavy missiles and some drones.
We cannot understand you, Amici.
Hey, Mateo, want to watch the store while I go get my charger?
Okay, now, okay, ignore that real fast. So, the important thing, so your starting faction, whether you started as a Caldari, you don't have to stay with that. You can choose whatever you want. It has a few beginner skills you'll have in Caldari, but that's something you can train with into a different class. Caracal is very good. You're going to be you end up doing a lot of damage, and you can do level. What I would suggest though is you're paying for those missiles. You're losing money when you're using those missiles. Drone boats, they're the meta for PvE because they don't cost any money. Once you bought them, they don't cost anything unless you lose it. You don't use ammo for them, so it's essentially going into these battles and you're not losing any money doing it. And I can link up a Vexor fit.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Do
I
it
would suggest.
Yeah.
It's not corp like mandatory. It's not something we're gonna be building. You're gonna have to go somewhere else to get it. But Vexers are very, very good to start with. Hey, Umichi, can you mute your mic if you're not talking?
You can do this yourself, like mute here.
Yeah, but then he's gonna try to talk, and then I'm not gonna know when to unmute him.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hey, Michi, you there? All right, we're gonna mute him for a minute or two. See if it cuts out. But yeah, I would suggest start training into get some points. So that's the other thing. Galente and Armar are fantastic for it because they're armor heavy. So Mimitar and Kaldari tend to be a bit more shield heavy, and shield EHP runs a lot off your capacitor. Your armor is a lot less on capacitor drain overall, so it's easier to tank with it and not lose out on your overall capacitor use. So you can fit more modules that have, say, drone amplifiers and stuff like that to do more damage.
Oh, okay.
So I would suggest Galente or Amar when it comes to doing PvE, just because you don't have to worry about your capacitor draining.
Okay, but as well as with it comes that the shields, they are actually passive regenerating per some value per second, and to repair the armor you need to feed special modules.
So a lot of the with the Vexer running up until you hit tier 3s, which you're going to have to be doing quite a bit of tier 1s and 2s to get the points for tier 3s if you're not running with somebody higher who can just kind of like you can leech that LP off of. You're going to have more than enough time during the 1s and 2s to run level 1 tier 1 fittings, which will take almost no time to train the basic modules and stuff you need on there. So again, start with tier 1 fits, doing the lower level missions, and then once you hit the level 3 missions and stuff, you should be able to start getting into some of the tier 2 modules you can start replacing your tier 1s with. Just think of this game as a progression. Everything, over time, you're just slowly going to be progressing into better and better stuff. Again, I wouldn't take any of these things into low sec unless you're trying to get it from the hub to here. That should be the only time you go into low sec with stuff. Don't put yourself into any situation where you're going to get PvP'd. This is strictly for PvE, and you need to stay in a PvE safe area. So inside high sec areas, inside our system. So Adolf, Haraka, Vongar, I think is the other one. Try to do all your missions there. If it asks you to go into low sec for the mission, just decline it. You can decline once every 4 hours and not have any punishment for it.
Okay, sure. And one more question. So with the missions, I'm offered the missions inside my home state. So it's actually Caldari offered missions. And I don't know how to change these missions to the Minmatar state.
You just fly to, it's Moon 6 Velcor Tribe Academy, I believe it is. You just fly there and you talk to the level 1 security mission agent there, and you'll just start receiving, you'll be able to do missions through her. You'll have level 1s with them because you don't have any points in with them yet. So the thing about how you start to gain points, you have faction with your agent, you have faction with the corp with, and then you have faction with the overall alliance. Your overall alliance progress really, really slow. So what you're really doing is you're leveling up the corporation faction points, because if you do enough missions with the level 1s till you're like level 6 with the actual agent, you'll most likely be level 2 with the family, which is when you can start doing level 2s. And then same thing onto the level 3 of the corporation, you can start doing level 3 contracts for that corporation family. The nice thing is there's level 1s through 4 for security within Moon 6, so you don't even have to leave our system to get the level 1s through 4s.
Okay.
And I want to put this out for everybody that's listening in right now. Again, if you guys are kind of getting fed up a little bit with the mining, take a break from it, try out some PvE. With the level 1s, you can do it in a destroyer or a frigate. It doesn't take much to be able to go in there and try out these missions. See if that might be a better fit for you if you're kind of getting burnt out with the part of the games. If you're doing exploration or PvE right now, you're starting to get burnt out, take some time to try mining. Try out all the different things this game has to offer and find what you like best so you can suit it.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to think that they're stuck into any given role. This game is all about flexibility. You can literally
Is
do whatever
your
you want. It's
in-game
just a
name is
sandbox
Raspberry?
game. So just do whatever you want and just try to have fun.
I have
Uh.
three. I have 3 accounts in game, or actually 4 within the corp. I spent a little bit too much money on this game with Omega, but I really enjoy it, so I'm okay with it. So right now, my main 3 accounts I'm running with is Jeffrey Toganada. That's my mining and salvaging account. Zilchmal's Butt Soup, which is what the Discord is titled after right now, is my main PvEer. It's the one that's got all the factions into it, and then Leprechaun is a really old account I have. It's got like 45 mil SP on it that I just use to help tank out these missions. So I'm running 2 battleships and a salvager when I'm doing level 4s, and it's not even a problem. They're not even getting down a quarter on my shields, and it's just absolutely wrecking. So anyone here, you are more than free to come along with me on these missions and stuff. See what the higher tier PvE missions are like.
I'm just wondering because there's some guy by the name of Raspberry wrote the Vexor feeding into the corp chat. So I'm just wondering, is it the same Vexor Navi issue that we are talking about?
I didn't link it. I can log on right now to check it, but chances are, it's somebody in here right now, probably listening if they linked it. Chances are they probably use it themselves, so it's a good enough fit you can use. Let me pop on right now and I'll take a look at it, but chances are it'll be a good enough fit for you to use for level 1s through level 3s.
I'm not sure because it's core prop launcher in the high power slots and some strange modules. So I'm not sure actually. So
with mine, I don't do ratting. I only do missions, so I don't fit a launcher to any of my PvE modules. Just because I'm not trying to scan down anything. People might be. He's probably using that to also rat along the side. That's why he's got a launcher. But as soon as I can get into the game, I will. I'll link the Vexor I used for a short bit.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
I'm still
I'm
relearning
in no
the game.
rush, so.
Yeah, I'm still relearning the game. Last time I actively played, you had to buy you had to buy things that you had to buy more upgraded clones so you'd save your SP. Because back then, if you died and you didn't have a certain skill cap on your clone, any skill points over that cap, you lost. So I'm still trying to relearn the game. It's been like 5 or 6 years. Whoever linked that, Raspberry, can you relink?
Oh, I can relink it. Just a moment.
Awesome. And Raspberry, if you're in the chat, can you identify yourself? So yeah, the fit he's running right there. That's 100% just a drone boat. All his damage output is coming from drones. You can see he doesn't have an actual weapon slot on his Vexor itself. Which means all his damage output is coming from drones, which is nice. The only problem I would have with that is because you're not doing any damage to the NPCs. The NPCs will actually start to target your drones. Now I'm not 100% sure on that because he's using medium and small drones. I'm using large drones, which they actually take aggro from AI. The AI might not attack small mediums. I can't honestly remember.
Short thing. I'm flying, the Venture and have 2 drones out, and the NPCs always attack me and not my drones.
Yeah, so that works then. The only reason, if you're running a drone boat like that, the only reason I would ever say have a weapon on there is so that you're taking the brunt of the hits, not your drones. But if they're not attacking small and mediums, I guess, then it's not gonna matter anyways. For me, I have missiles and stuff on my rattlesnakes because even though all my damage is coming from my drones, I still want myself to be taking the hits, not my drones. So that's just a little bit how the game works.
Can you provide the rattlesnake feed, because the rattlesnake, it's really nice boat. I'd like to train it, feed it.
Yeah, it's gonna
I
take a
just
while.
really like it.
So this is a tier 2 rattlesnake. This is the tier 1. That would probably be the first thing you want to try to get into.
Blue is the tier 2.
And on the 45 mil SP account I have that runs the tier 2 version of it, it's got a 130k EHP and it's got a 975 damage output for me. So again, it 4 to 5 shots AI battleships. So that should be your kind of goal when it comes to PvE. That's kind of the fitting you want to try to fit for. Is I suggest something that's very heavy into drones. It's the meta right now for PvE missions. Anybody else have any questions they would like to have addressed while we have time, while we're waiting around?
Yeah, I got.
What's up?
I got one.
Regarding the Myrmidon as alpha player, it says that you can fit a command burst module, but I checked out the command skill, and the requirement you have for the command skill is all Omega equipment, so technically I can't use any command burst as alpha player, right?
Say again. Sorry.
The Myrmidon can fit command burst modules, and as such I checked out the skill for it, which is leadership, and every item is an Omega item which you can use, so effectively I can't use command modules, right? As a command burst modules.
So command burst modules, they're meant for when you're in a fleet. From my understanding, they're meant for when you're in a fleet, so it's going to do something that's going to benefit everybody. So from my understanding of command burst modules, it's meant for when you're running a fleet, running with others. It's going to send out some sort of benefit for everybody that's surrounding you. So like with the Orca, it uses a command burst module to accelerate your mining lasers. I need to pull that up just to be sure. I personally don't use them, so I do need to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the drone battle cruiser the Galante have. That's why I'm asking. Because the other ships don't get drone bonuses, so I just wanted to ask if I could use this command burst. So.
What was the name of the ship again? It was Galante?
Myrmidon.
Myrmidon. Is it a cruiser?
Galante battle cruiser.
Battle cruiser. Okay. So yeah, that's a good one to have within the fleet.
Yeah, I mean, but as alpha player, even if I get the leadership skill, which I can get, and I got to the required 4 tab, which lists the equipment which can use with leadership. So that's the command burst, like armor command burst, information, mining, shield, and skirmish command burst. And all these items are marked as Omega items. So in effect, I can use the ship only as drone ship, right?
You can use it as a drone ship. You can equip stuff to it. The command burst, just whatever command burst you put on there, it's gonna make that one more effective. So just whatever command burst you put on there.
All the command bursts are Omega items.
Okay. Then you'll
alpha. I can't use it.
So yeah, if you can't fit it, you can still run the ship without a command burst.
Yeah. Yeah, it has also the armor repairer.
The big thing I would say to look at, if you're an alpha player, the biggest thing about it is the price. It's 39 mil compared to just say a regular Vexor, which gives a bonus to drone points and stuff, you're getting the same. So if you look at, if you're not using the command burst, it's given a 10% to drone hit points and damage. The Vexor, which is only 7.3 mil, is also still given a 10% bonus to drone hit points damage. So you're still getting the same amount of bonus to drones, which if you're having drones as your main damage output, you're still going to be doing the same amount of, you're still going to get the same amount of bonus. Now, when you go in there and look, it's got a, you're going to be looking for drone bandwidth. The Meridian has a drone bandwidth of 100 megabits, while the just base Vexor only has 75 megabits. So you will have more damage come out of the Meridian because you have higher drone bandwidth, so you can effectively field more drones. So that's the kind of thing you're looking into. So if you have the money, the Meridian's going to get you higher DPS per second. The Vexor itself is just going to be cheaper.
Also, I'm getting something about drone microwarp velocity. I haven't seen any microwarp done by drones yet with light drones, light scouts. Is that something heavy drones or something?
Can you repeat the first part of that question? Sorry.
I got this.
There's a bonus, 12.5% bonus on drone microwarp velocity.
They use the micro warp when they're going to a target. It's not an active thing that you have to do. It's just something they do automatically.
So
every drone has a microwarp.
Yes. So the Myrmidon basically just means
that wasn't my question.
The drones are going to get there faster with the Myrmidon.
Yeah, it's just further ahead. I mean, I am not planning to actually buy ships.
Okay.
I intend to build them.
That's fine.
And currently I'm undecided if I will buy the Catalyst or the Algos as blueprint. Currently I'm making really good ISK through selling Incursius frigates, actually. 880,000 per 5. It's not bad, I think. And so there will be a destroyer plant. I will probably get some freighter, industrial, sorry, a bigger one, so I can transfer my stuff somewhere along the line to our home base, and then there will be some cruiser, either Vexor or the Thorax. I'm undecided if I will go turret or drone. And then Myrmidon or Talos, and then Megathon or Dominix.
So again, this coming back to the whole kind of progression thing. So between the Vexor, the Myrmidon, and the Vexor Navy issue, the Vexor Navy issue has the same amount of bonuses it does to the rest, but it has the highest drone bandwidth among the three of them. So at the end of the day, you're going to end up getting more out of the Vexor Navy issue, and along the way of unlocking the Vexor Navy issue, you're going to be putting points into cruisers, which is going to raise your percent bonus that the cruiser bonus has for it. So you can go into the battlecruiser for the Myrmidon, but that's going to be actually taken away from your time training into a higher tier cruiser. So if you put that time into the just cruisers instead, you'll be able to hit that VNI faster and have that higher damage output. So this game's all about taking the time to really plan out what you're going to be doing with it. So that's there's a lot of things to consider.
My Galactic Cruiser is actually for I can train. Because that you need for getting a battle cruiser. And I can only get one more, so.
Are you also an alpha?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
alpha.
I gotcha. Again, it's gonna come down to user preference. You'll have a bit more damage coming out of drones with the Vexor Navy issue. The battlecruiser is going to be a bit more tanky. it's going to be able to survive more hits just because of the fact it's a larger ship with larger capacitor and fitting requirements and stuff. So if you want to train battle cruisers, which is the next step towards battleships, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, the plan is first the Mimitar, at least one level, so I can fly the Doctrine ship, and then I'm saving up for the Galantes. Because
Okay.
I'm currently shortly before enough for the battle cruiser, and it's a day away, so I can make this money.
That's the other thing I would like to bring up real fast. Why everybody's here. The reason why they're pushing Doctrine ships so hard. If you look at the Rifter, it's a frigate. It is right out of the start of the Mimitar tree line. It shouldn't take you more than a couple hours to learn everything you need for the Doctrine frigate. If anything, maybe a day at the most, I believe. So, really, learning that Doctrine ship, just even the basic one we have, the Rifter Tackler, it's going to take a day out of your training queue. And it's something I would
I have
we all suggest
already
getting into.
the skills for the Rifter and also for the battle cruiser besides the original battle cruiser skill, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's just an
Taking care
announcement
of
for
that
everyone.
already.
So the big thing, I will say this, in case any of you guys that are alphas that haven't looked into the full outline for this. So EVE Online for the longest time has always been a paid membership game. It wasn't until last year they went free to play. So with the alpha, you train skills half as slow as an Omega, and you have a 5 mil SP cap. Once you hit 5 mil, you cannot train any more skills. So if you plan on staying alpha in this game for a bit, you need to start actually doing some math and looking at what you can train before you hit that 5 mil SP cap. Because that 5 mil SP cap is going to take maybe 3 months to hit. And then after that, you're going to be locked out of any more progression within anything. So if you are an alpha, you need to either look into training the best way possible for you to get the best thing you can within that 5 mil SP cap, or you need to look into setting aside some money to start going for Omega. And it's $15 a month if you guys can, it's just figure out a way to cut out $15 of spending and stuff. That solves a lot of your problems when it comes to that skill cap.
I bought it for $10 a month.
It's $10 if you buy the 3
€20.
or 6 month. So obviously they're gonna have discounts if you buy a year at once. The more you buy at once of Omega time, the cheaper it's gonna be. So if you buy the year, yeah, it's $10. If you're buying it by the month, I think it's 15. I'm not sure what the ratio is from US dollars to euros, but just remember every company in the world is always going to push for cheaper prices for when buying in bulk. That's just how it works.
So that isn't to say that you can't play as alpha. It's just if you are going to be alpha, you just have to be aware of that 5 million skill point cap.
Honestly, being alpha off the start isn't a bad thing. You're going to be locked out of certain things, but it gives you an idea of how this game is going to react and how well you can kind of adjust to the learning curve of it without having to pay a dime. If you guys aren't really sure if this game is yet for you, stay alpha. Keep learning what you can, trying out the basic different fits and stuff of the different styles of gameplay there is. Figure out if you actually enjoy doing one. If you do, upgrade to Omega. I would suggest if you are going to upgrade to Omega and decide you like the game, do it sooner than later, just because it's going to accelerate your training time on things. So you're going to get into your new ships and stuff twice as fast. So I know a lot of the players.
We still waiting on Roxanne, or what's going on here?
I don't know. He hasn't actually contacted any of us. This is the time he put out within the court message. It is Sunday, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's Sunday.
It's actually. Oh, okay.
I had to check. Sometimes I can't even remember what day it is.
So the time in my country is actually Monday. So it's 2 a.m. Monday.
Well, thank you for coming here.
1 a.m.
Yeah, we're not sure where he is. Really sorry for you guys that put time aside to come to this. But even with him not here, not being able to talk about per se the future of the corp as a whole, we can still talk about what you guys individually want to do with yourselves and how we can help facilitate your process in meeting those goals. So if there's anybody, it doesn't have to be the same people asking these questions unless they're asking the same questions you guys are. Anybody, feel free to ask whatever you would like. Anybody can pitch in advice and stuff. Just the idea is to make this almost like a little bit of a family within the corp. Everybody's helping everyone out, just doing what they can to everybody progress linearly together. Because if other people are progressing along with you, you're not leaving people behind. Overall, the corp's going to be making more money, and we're going to be able to put that money back into buying more blueprints for people to build their ships and stuff. So right now the only tax, so for a while there we were tax-free within the corp, which is basically unheard of. That's not something you're going to find. A lot of the corp leaders and stuff are pretty greedy because they're used to being able to have people come in and basically do the work for them. With Roxanne, for the first month and a half, because it was all newer players and stuff that was within the corp, there's absolutely no tax. So you guys were able to do whatever you wanted to, keep all that money. There is a 3% tax now on PvE, but that's just so we can start paying for the PvP ships. The idea of that 3% tax right now on PvE, all that money is going into the PvP fund. So when we do group PvP missions and stuff, and you're running a Doctrine ship, at the end of it, you just send the kill mail to Roxanne or myself, or any of the real FCs at the time, anybody who's running it, and we will repay that fitting in whole. So whatever you bring to that PvP mission, as long as it's along the Doctrine ship lines, so the Tier 1 Hurricane, the Rifters, stuff like that, you'll be reimbursed for it. Now, if you're running a $2 billion or a $4 billion Tengu into it and lose it, you're kind of on your own on that point. But if you're bringing a Doctrine ship to it and stuff, it has been said over and over from Roxanne, and I'll do it out of my own pocket myself. We will reimburse you in those PvP missions that you lose. Also, if you guys need some money and stuff for skills, you're a little bit low or something, or you lost a fit or something and it's relatively cheap and stuff, go ahead and personally PM me either on here or in the game if I'm on, and I'll help get you back on your feet. And you can just worry about repaying it at a later time once you make the money back and stuff. So if you're ever at the point where you lost your ship, that's the other thing. You shouldn't be flying anything you can't afford to lose, but if you do, and it's cheaper, like anything below 50 mil, I can help you guys out. You don't have to worry about back at step 1. I can help you get back there, but the idea is if I do that, you need to learn from what happened. Don't take the stuff into low sec. Be careful when you're crossing and ask for somebody to scout it, stuff like that. So I'm willing to help out with that. Roxanne is willing to help out with that. You guys can go ahead and have that freedom to be able to try things out, especially when we do the PvP nights. Anything you lose there, that's the Doctrine, will be reimbursed. I do really want to stress that point. Don't feel scared to join us in the PvP because you're afraid you're going to lose the money you just spent in that ship. If it's a Doctrine ship, it will be paid.
So our home system is a little dangerous right now. Could you touch on how to fly safely?
Sure. So within our home system itself, I haven't noticed any kill mail from people attacking us in high sec, because if they attack in high sec, Concord's going to come after them and they're going to get blown out of the sky. So if you're staying within our high sec area, you'll be 95% safe. There is a small chance they're just going to be assholes and jump in with some small ships and try to hit you, but it's most likely not going to happen. So the big thing though is our low sec area and the null sec. I've noticed people that are now dying in null sec because Minds of Murderers, or whatever the fucking stupid name is for their corp. I can't. Mom. So in null sec, I haven't actually been there myself with you guys when we're out doing that. I've been focusing mostly on the PvE. With that, you guys need to travel in packs. Don't get caught alone traveling through nullsec. If you're transporting stuff, get people to scout it out. And the same thing goes with lulsec. If for some reason, number one, you should always be checking our home stations and stuff to see if you can buy whatever you need there. If for some reason you have to go to the hub, be careful. On the way there, fly a Corvette, and when you get to the hub, go ahead and buy one of the very cheap freighters if you need to bring something back down. Because the freighter's cheap, and you're not risking anything on the way there. On the way back, park outside of that system, inside one of the hubs, and ask somebody to scout out the areas. Not just like one person, see if you can get 2 people. So that way they can sit on either end of the gates.
Freighter should we buy?
And check it out. Whatever. So if you go into your ship tree, it'll be right below the Corvette. You'll see the shuttle, and then So the shuttle itself should have some space on it. I need to check. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. The industrial. So whatever your basic industrial is, industrial shouldn't take too long to get skills into. And I mean, if you look at it, a mammoth for the Mimitar, it's 1.1 mil for the whole. And the rest of the modules should be underneath a mil. So you can get a ship to bring it back down for under 2 mil. Or if you can fit it in something, if it's a very small thing you're bringing or something, you can fit it into like a destroyer or something. You can find cheap fits to transport small stuff. If you're going to be transporting a ship, just be careful. But unless it's something big that you're taking to the hub, just fly there in a Corvette. Like, it's not a super
just
big
as
thing.
info, the alpha players can only get 1 point in industrial.
That's more than enough. You won't be able to continue getting the roll bonuses and stuff. You'll just get that first bonus.
Just that you know it.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't see the alpha side of things. But it doesn't. You don't have to do the industrial. You can, whatever it takes to bring it back, you can do. I would just suggest bringing a low ship. If it's something small. If you're flying a ship itself, just scout it out. Have somebody scout it out, or yourself dock inside the area before you jump through the low-sec area, and go in there inside a Corvette. You can get a Corvette at any station. Fly into there, and you're gonna go. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pop onto the local chat, and you're gonna see who's in there. So if there's more than, if you see corp members and stuff in there, obviously they're friendly. If you see anybody else, you need to right-click them, find out what corp they're in. If it's Minds of Murderers, they're gonna kill you. If it's essentially anybody that's not green is most likely gonna try to attack you. So really, what you're doing is if you're at a point where you can't cross safely, you're just not gonna attempt to. You're just gonna go ahead, dock up, find something else to do, and wait to cross that point when it's not as dangerous. So the perfect thing you should be doing in low sec is looking to hop in when there's nobody else in the system. I've crossed that gap probably 10-15 times now between my accounts, and I've only had one situation where it was close, and I had 2 ships scouting for me. I use my own accounts to do it because I have 4 of them I can use, but contact somebody else. I sat them at the gates, and I watched them pop in. They completely disregarded the Corvette because it's a Corvette. And then they saw my other account that I was trying to get through, hop in, and they started trying to warp to the other gates. And as soon as they started warping, as I watched it on my scout, I warped towards them. So we basically crossed each other in warp, and I got through safely. So the game's all about, when it comes to that, it's about timing. You're looking for the perfect time. Either nobody's there, or they're busy doing something else. But at the end of the day, do not just go into low sec. Ask somebody to scout it out. Just don't just fly in there willy-nilly, because you're gonna lose it if you do it that way.
Or just fly, in a capsule.
Yeah, but I mean, I've brought a slow-ass freighter through multiple times and not had a problem with it. You guys just gotta learn to wait for the right timing.
Putting 1 point into Galenti Industrial is not a bad idea regardless, because they have the specialized haulers, both the ore freight or ore, raw minerals, ammunition, planetary products. They have the expanded holds for those specific items.
If you look at it from that point of view, definitely.
On which of the station is the compressing module is fitted, so I can compress the ore that I mined.
All right. Is Raspberry in this chat right now? Hey, Josh, you're on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you can you get on the game?
Yeah, let me go to my desk. I'm cleaning the house while listening to the meeting.
You need to kick Raspberry. They're doing the same thing the fucking group from last week was trying to do. If you guys did just get that corp mill, that's somebody trying to snipe you for another corp. They're gonna say things. Basically, as you guys know, this is a very competitive game. Everybody wants people to come in and essentially, from what they're saying, is to do their work for them. You can read within that mail that they want miners and PvPers, and they want to use them as a Titan bridge. So you're going to be sending their mining materials for them and stuff, and they're going to be using that to build their capital ships, which they're going to be flying, not you. You're going to be mining, and you're not going to. All you're going to see is a bit of ISK from it. You're not going to progress anywhere with your own ships and stuff, essentially, from that email. So, essentially, like James said, like a slave. Again, we have a 3% tax when it comes to PvE, which is, if you guys aren't doing level 4s and stuff, you're not even going to notice it. If you're doing level 4s, it's not going to make an impact. The 3% is still lower than almost any other corporation I've heard of, and that's just been newly implemented. It's not even taxing mining, which I know the majority of players in here do. The majority of players right now are still within a tax haven. They're 100% playing tax-free. And if you guys really have a big deal with it, with the tax and stuff, I will give you 20 mil each out of pocket to pay for your next, month of the taxing if you're doing PvE. Because if you're not doing level 4s, it's going to amount to less than 20 mil a month. You're not really losing anything. And I'm willing to pay that out of pocket just to spite this Raspberry person. Because they know we're doing a corp meeting, and they came in here and are trying to snipe people. Just disregard that. They're straight up, they're going to be using you as a slave. That's when you have somebody else's agenda on mind. We're here having a meeting. Roxanne ended up not showing, but we're here having a talk so we can try to get you guys as much information as possible out for you guys, and there's somebody in here trying to snipe people. That's what you got to worry about with the other corporations. That's what we're trying to avoid.
That email was only to you, and I didn't get the email.
You didn't? Still, they're okay, my bad. I thought that was Raspberry trying to snipe people. They sent 1 second. But still, that's a good example. Somebody out there is trying to snipe players away from us. So be warned, you will receive messages like that. I know Minds and Murders have been doing that quite a lot to our players and stuff. You got to understand they have very toxic leadership. The whole reason we're out of the alliance is because of the toxic leadership within corps like that. If they're going to be playing dirty, undermining tricks like that itself, that's not something you want to be a part of.
Daddy, visit Charles. I want visit.
Sorry, let me respond. Can somebody else take over answering questions and stuff real fast while I try to figure this out?
Yeah, I can answer questions if anyone wants to ask.
So
how much longer do we stick around here waiting for Rox?
I don't know. If he does show up, I can ping you guys. You guys don't have to stay any longer if you don't want to. It's past the time he said he was going to show up. So, as of right now, nothing pertinent is going to be coming out in the next little bit until he may hop on. But as of right now, we don't have a ETA on him coming on. So, if you guys want to leave, I can send out a ping later if he does pop up and continue the corp meeting. And I've been recording this session, which I can upload so you guys can, if we have anybody not here, they can listen into it. And if he does show up and have the court meeting, if you guys can't make it at that later date, I will also have that popped up, and I'll put it in the announcement for you guys to go ahead and listen in when you're mining or doing PvE. But you guys don't feel like you have to stay any longer. Everybody that showed up, thank you for that. If you guys, I'm going to take a quick list of everybody that didn't, or I'll do a screenshot. I'm going to screenshot everybody's here. I'm going to be going through a lot of the people that hadn't been active on the Discord, find out those who just aren't in the game anymore, and I'm going to be kind of wiping a bit of the people that just aren't here anymore. But I'm going to screenshot all you guys so you guys won't even receive anything. I already know you guys are active and stuff here, so thank you all for coming. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to stick around, and you guys can keep asking. But I'll ping everybody if he does pop on. We do have an actual court meeting.
Yeah, so I had a question about reprocessing plant into the onto the station. How do I know what the station do have this plant so I can compress the ore I gather?
So if you go into the station and you look over to the right on the station panel, the buttons will be shaded out. The ones that are shaded out are the inactive modules. If you're able to click on them, then that means that module is installed.
You can also go on the Neocom under Utilities. There is a structure browser which will pull up all of the structures within the system, and it'll show what they might have available to you. It doesn't tell you if it's online or offline, but it'll start to already eliminate stations where you don't have to try and go there. Also, if you look under the selected...
One more time, the Neocom activities.
No, go under Utilities.
Utilities. Oh,
There will
okay.
say structure browser.
Yeah,
structure
yeah,
browser.
I see this. Yeah, I see. Okay, thank you.
And then the reprocessing is the recycle symbol.
Yeah.
Where it's the triangle.
I see. Thank you.
How do I compress ice?
Same as ore.
Okay, how do I compress ore?
Essentially, what you're looking for is a player-owned station that will let you do reprocessing. And instead of clicking reprocess, you click the compress. It's on the right-click selection, right-click menu.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I've never really done reprocessing because the officers do it all for us, so I hadn't even checked that out.
And even if you want to keep all the, if you're mining ore somewhere else or ice and you want to keep that, you're more than welcome to compress it yourself and then reprocess it back at your station, because it reprocesses out to the same amount as if you had not compressed it.
Oh, that's cool. And there's no penalty for not having reprocessing skills to compress and...
Right, you're not really uncompressing it, you're just converting it back into the minerals that would have normally been.
I got you.
You guys can do your own reprocessing if you want. Sending it to one of the officers that has the reprocessing skills leveled up gives you a slight bonus to it, but you don't have to wait for one of them. Just be aware that your percentage of return materials is going to be slightly less than sending it to them would be.
Is there any station where we can compress our ore or whatever besides the Mines of Mordors one in Eldil?
I'm not too sure on that one. Does anyone have any information on that?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I was typing something in Eve.
I know there's no tax for reprocessing at Haraka 4 Moon 9. I can link that.
They want to know where we are generally going for all of our industrial needs, like reprocessing and whatnot. Now that we can't go to Mine of Murders. I mean, we can, but we'll be taxed.
Oh, fuck, I never unmuted you, Michi. So Michi's the one to ask about that. He's the one that knows that, him and Roxon. But with him being at work. So up until this point, I've been basically on the Discord side of things. I've just been managing the server. Right now I'm trying to get into hopefully being kind of the head for PvE. and that will allow me to start being more on the Eve side of things. I'm not 100% sure on the industry because I just don't really do it myself. But Umichi or Roxon would be the ones to ask questions about that. Liz is another member, and another person that maybe would know is Honest Dick Me, but he's in here. I just don't know if he's going to be speaking. So that's a question. You can go ahead in the general chat or rookie questions. You can at industry and then ask your question there. And then once somebody gets on that can answer it, that would be your place to go ahead and ask that. So here, I'll go ahead and ping the question. Oh, you know what? That's actually my bad. I didn't I need to make those roles pingable. So let me do that real quick. Wait, it is. What the heck? Okay, yeah, it is pingable. So basically you add industry.
It's been answered in Corp Chat. Haraka 4 Moon 9 Expert Distribution Warehouse. No tax.
Okay.
So I just made easier, affordable Galante fried chip, the basic. I would like to post that in comp chat, and can somebody look that over if it's totally bullshit or if I could fly that. Shit, didn't say.
So you're asking if you should fly it?
No, if I should fly it or if it's totally crap.
What kind of ship was it again?
I'm posting it.
Okay.
Definitely fly that.
Is it industry ship?
Yeah, it's industry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's boosted to almost 10k cargo hold. Got an invulnerability ship. It got an afterburner and a passive targeter. 5 drones, which 3 can fly at the same time. Auto targeting system and a large gun. 19 kilometers range.
I saw something similar, like I saw some troll build fit on Heron, so it capable of shooting with after turrets and some warp scramble and afterburner. I don't really try it myself, but sounds really fun.
So what exactly are you trying to do with this ship? It's to transport stuff, correct?
Sorry, I'm late.
So, whoever posted that, what's your purpose for the ship exactly?
I think he wants to fight.
That's, I mean, you tried to put a fighting fit on a, essentially a freighter. You'll find, unless you're trying to anti-gank somebody, it's still not a good. The only reason I could see you doing this is to try to anti-gank, but, that's still you're too slow in the ship that size to anti-gank. It's all you're doing is you could be making the ship a bit faster with warp stabilizers and stuff, so you're able to get back into warp faster, and then your overall warp speed. Right now, the ship is still relatively slow. You're trying to put damage on it when in reality it has no bonuses to any sort of damage, so you're not getting any bonuses at all. So it's gonna be just your base damage. So if you're trying to fight with it and stuff, I mean, you have 5k effective EHP, at least with my skills, and then you're only doing 46 DPS. So you have essentially the same amount of damage and health as a frigate, maybe. So it's not going to do well.
Just there. This ship is there to fly Incursors through high sec and minerals too, and put out. Will be transporting my stuff from through the gap.
So if you're worried about getting attacked in high sec, if somebody does attack you in high sec, you're gonna die. Because they know they're gonna lose their ships, they're gonna be bringing very cheap fittings, and they're gonna be bringing a lot of people. The idea of attacking people in high sec isn't you're not gonna live through it. So the idea is you bring a lot of people and small cost ships, so you don't lose anything, but the amount of people is causing the same amount of DPS as say like a dreadnought. So that's why you see 40 people flying around in frigates that just absolutely destroy freighter ships. If somebody wants to kill you in high sec, they're going to know how to do it and they're going to be effective with it. So I wouldn't worry too much about dying in high sec. If it's your time to die in high sec, you're going to die in high sec. There's not much you can do to get out of it. The only real way is to try to tank it out until Concord comes, but even then, if they know what they're doing, they're going to kill you. With the low sec stuff, again, the idea I'm trying to stress when it comes to low sec is you don't even want to be putting yourself in a situation where you're going to fight. You should be going through that gap when you know nobody's going to attack you. That's the idea of scouting it out and finding that right time to bring it through.
Yeah.
The only time we should be getting in fights is when we're looking, if we're initiating the fights ourselves, if we're looking for that fight. You shouldn't be, it's a good idea to plan for a fight, but chances are, with these people have been playing, 7-8 years, they have just so many skill points into everything, their skills alone are going to cause them to get the kill. And on top of that, they're going to be flying ships that are meant to kill you. It's just like right now, that's basically what you're doing is you're a 500-pound guy carrying around. You decided to, have a knife on you, and you got a trained SWAT team trying to kill you. Like, you having that knife isn't going to really affect the outcome of the battle. That's the big thing about freighters is just if you want to do that freighter lifestyle, it's all about finding the right times to move stuff and being prepared for it.
Well,
it's not about
I put out the targeters because not using the high slot for a gun is useless because it's the only slot for guns that it has. I'm putting a gun in there.
I mean, you can't. What I would do instead of using that the space that's being taken up for the fitting with those things, you could train your skills higher so you could fit like a tier 2 cargo hold or something in there. You can get more out of your fitting area than that. Because again, you have 5k EHP. If I was to come at you, it would kill you in 5 seconds.
Well, the thing is,
it's-
beside the 10 micrometer afterburner, the cargo hold optimization, and the EM watt amplifier, I can build this thing. And okay, yeah, the blueprint for the ship, but the cargo hold expansion I can build already. That's why it's not planned for like when I can fly battleships, but for now.
So again, whenever I'm going to fit a new ship and stuff, go to Eve University. Just type in like nearest fittings, and honestly, just from looking at the Eve University, these are the meta fittings for that ship. Their high slots are just nobody uses high slots on them. Their drones they're using are ECM drones, which are gonna. The idea of ECM drones, you send them out, they stop the enemy from being able to. They'll still be able to lock onto you, but the idea is those ECM drones lock out their targeting systems. So when they shoot, all their shots are missing. When you're flying a freighter like
You
that and stuff, the
mean-
entire idea is to get away from the fight, not to even shoot off a round. So I would go to
You
Eve
mean
University.
electronic warfare drones?
Yes, ECM.
I must check if I can even fly them because yeah, that's the
If
first
you're-
Omega.
If
Okay,
you're
yeah,
Alpha,
I
I
can
don't.
fly the Berserker.
Okay.
Can fly
Yes,
the Berserker.
the Hornet EC300s are this is the usual setup for a good ECM drone for people. But you can see even on again, always go. I always just if I'm flying a ship I don't know anything about, just type in the name of ship fittings, then click on the Eve University page, and you'll have different ones. So they have the nearest expanded cargo hold Tier 1. It has all Tier 1 modules on there meant for just as much space as they can get. Same thing with the Tier 2. You got the fast warp, where it replaces the cargo holds with warp stabilizers. Inertial stabilizers. And that's just allowing them to, as soon as they come through the gate, they're immediately back aligned and already back off into space as fast as possible. So they have the Tier 1 and Tier 2 for that, and then they have, if you're doing the Level 4 distribution missions, they have the fitting you should run for that. But again, they even have an alpha-friendly fast hauler fitting for you. But you shouldn't be looking to even shoot back. If somebody starts trying to attack you and stuff, your immediate reaction should be to get out of the situation.
Okay, I checked it. I can fly the Berserker and the Valkyrie SV600 as EC drones.
So,
and I would spend a lot of.
Do you plan on
stuff
having?
on it.
Do you plan on having a lot of stuff carrying on it, or do you want to get around fast? Because I can link you a fit right now that would be optimal for you.
Well, I'm playing. It's the ship I want to fly until I can get a bigger transport. I want to build this ship even if it gets destroyed. It should be like an expandable, but with bigger cargo hold than normal.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and link you a fitting then for that ship that you should use. You're still running Tier 1 modules, correct?
Yeah.
Alright. Give me 1 second and I will pull it up for you.
Why don't you just use the Iteron Mark V?
Well, the blueprint for this is 7 million, and I'm spending that ISK on skill training, so I can't really afford that at the moment. Oh wait, 11 million.
Alright. I just went ahead and linked it for you. That should be the fitting you should try to run. Josh, Cephalon posted a question for you, since you're the recruiter and can answer that part.
All right, is it in Corp chat?
It's in Discord chat on general. He just asked, can I invite a friend to the Corp? I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm just saying you because you'd be the one to send the email to.
I already sent him the email and everything. No. I mean, he's new to the game. I haven't. I'm not even completely sure he's made a character yet. But I plan to get him into the game soon, and just ask if I can invite him later when he's all set up.
I can only fly 3 in Cursor E with this ship. And yeah, it depletes. That's not.
How much time are we going to stay in Eldol?
So that comes back to it was a 90-day plan. I know that's something Roxon probably would address tonight. And the big thing about that is the fact that things have changed a little bit since we're not in that same alliance. I know something right now is on the table right now for us with a different alliance. I believe he's mentioned that in the court mail before. So I'm not sure exactly where the time frame is, but I know he still wants to try to get out of high sec and into a null sec area by, I think, the beginning of August. So I think we're still shooting for the August in null sec timeline. Again, that's something for Roxon to put out when we do have the actual court meeting, whenever that ends up becoming. But from my understanding, we're still on the beginning of August timeline for moving into null sec.
Okay.
Anything else anybody would like to ask why I'm still on? I'm doing my best to try to answer from personal knowledge and what the internet can tell me. Things I tell you might not be 100%. Again, like I said before, I am still relearning it myself. I'm just doing my best I can to answer you guys to the best of my understanding. So hopefully it's helping you guys out some. I wasn't really prepared to talk about anything other than the Discord stuff tonight, so this kind of caught me a little bit off guard. I didn't really do much homework.
Also, if you guys have any questions, feel free
It
to
actually was really good
ask any
because,
of the officers.
It's the first time I discussed all the question I wanted in the Discords.
Yeah, and again, even if we're not doing the meetings, go ahead and pop stuff in rookie questions when you hit level 3 in the Discord. Pop it into those specific roles. Or if you see people just on here in voice comms and stuff, if you see me in voice comms, I'm on here quite a lot. Listen to music, or I'm usually in mission running. Feel free to pop in there and just ask me stuff. And I know plenty of other people would be okay with that too. Cephalon Paxter. I myself haven't gotten into the PI yet. I know I need to. I haven't, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Anybody know anything about Can anybody answer anything about PI right now?
Just like I didn't really see any other things there. I'm thinking like, is there something wrong setting up on a planet?
I'm sure you could.
Okay, I would just make it sure. And like, quick question: can a planet like get raided by pirates or anything like?
I have no idea. That's still somewhat newer than back when I last played. So that's the other thing. When we do move into nullsec, we're still going to be occupying this area of highsec alongside it. This will still be the staging ground for us to go into nullsec during that time. So don't be afraid to start doing something here and feel you're going to lose all that progress and stuff here come around the beginning of August or whenever we do move to nullsec. You'll still have the ability to do everything you need to here. The idea is we can move into nullsec though because ore is going to be worth more. The missions are going to be worth more. Overall, if we can occupy a good area of nullsec where it's safe for us to do those things, all it does is it makes more money for us in those areas. But we're still going to have access to this area here to still do the things we're doing here. The idea is we're just trying to move a lot of it into nullsec so we can get the better ISK out of things. So don't be afraid to do anything here. You'll still have access to everything that's going on here when we do start our move into nullsec. This will still be the bridge from the rest of the world into nullsec.
But the nullsec is the place where there is Concord can help. So are we gonna have a fleet that will be flying around and just like protecting the the people that are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like why when we do have people going out in fleets right now to mine nullsec, because we have been sending people slowly into nullsec to do mining and stuff. I haven't actually been a part of one yet. I haven't been online when you guys are doing that, but from what I understand, we have been sending down PvP fits alongside the nullsec miners, and I believe Roxon was paying them to guard. I'm not 100% sure on that because I wasn't there for that. But
He wasn't.
No? Okay. If you guys want to give me a list of people that did that, I can go ahead and throw you guys some money. Because I know you guys might have been ratting, but you probably wasn't the most ISK efficient per hour. I can go ahead and send you guys some ISK to make up for your time for that. And I know that is something that will be set up once we get down there. There will be a payment out to people that are doing that. Because essentially, without you guys doing that, those miners are at complete risk, and could be putting all the profits they made at zero without having people there to protect. So, if you guys did do that, just PM me here on Discord, and I'll send you some ISK. Be truthful about it.
We had a mining op in nullsec the other day, and we didn't have any protection, and our port got ganked. We got raided. It was pretty bad. So yeah, we definitely need protection. But moving into null and having players in there online all the time is goal to for us to operate safely in null. That's definitely where we want to be at some point.
Yeah, because if we're all in there, pirates come in, they're like, "Oh shit, an entire corpse here." No. Yeah, we'll be good then, because pirates aren't going to want to screw with an entire.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why we're so recruitment and retention focused right now, because we are rebuilding our the corp. We are getting as many people as we can, and we're helping them learn the game, so that way we can have those really show them when needed.
Okay, I'll try to get my stepbrother into the game as soon as possible then.
Yeah, and your mom and your grandma and everyone.
So I put a little spin on the Ethereum. No, sorry. Wait a second. What was the name? Getting tired. On the Narrows. So it's actually, in theory, now energy stable, capacitor stable. And it has a little gun for defense against drones. I posted it in the chat.
In your chat?
In the corp chat.
Okay. Sorry, what was this about?
The Narrows that was sent to me. I put hobgoblins in it, put a blaster on it for defense, and a small energy Nosferatu for balancing the capacitor so it can fly longer on the attack.
Yeah, you're still trying to fight in a transport ship.
Yeah, like
well,
it's. I mean, you have the ability
the
to do that.
slots are open, and I think I need to put something in there.
You want to put something in there? Put a cloak in there or something.
I don't think it can fit a cloak. It might be able to, but the
cloak is Omega.
Okay. So just because you can put things on there doesn't mean you should. Again, the idea is trying to stress with that. You're gonna die before you have a chance to even fire off a round. If you try to stay there for the fight.
Yeah, it's still plan. I'm still planning to sorry. Sorry.
You're fine.
Okay. Fly away with it, but yeah, I can probably tackle some drones with the neutron blast of antimatter animal if they attack me with drones, and my own drones, which I can leave behind because it's hobgoblins and I can replace them easily, can actually attack them.
So
with my range,
I get you on that, and I get what you're thinking of. The idea I'm trying to stress here, though, is in the situation where you would even use those guns, the situation where you would even need to have those on there, you would die in that situation. So you're just losing the ISK. I know it seems like you're going to be more protected by having them on there. In reality, if you're going to die, you're not even going to have a chance to use them. All you're doing is putting a bit more ISK on there that you're going to lose. The big thing about the low tier freighters and stuff like that, you either live and make it to your situation, or you die. So the idea is to make sure the idea of those small freighters is to build it so you have as much ability to get to that situation alive as possible. And in this situation, it's not by having an offensive setup. It's all about purely getting out of there. So I see why you want to put weapons and stuff on there. I'm just letting you know right now. All you're doing is throwing more risk on the ship. If it comes down to where you'd be in a fight, you're going to lose the ship. It's just not to be blunt or anything, but that's basically what happens.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the gun you have on there is only good at 2,500 meters. That's when after that you can't hit anything. Most gankers aren't going to be that close.
It's if they attack me with drones. But this ship is actually quite a bit too expensive for me. Because this rigs cost a lot of money. You need to buy all this power circuits and logic circuits and ward consoles.
Well, just make every shot count, I guess. To be honest, I don't even know if you have enough ammunition to kill all the drones. You only put 80 rounds in there.
Well, I can put more in the cargo hold. But it was an example.
I got you. So yeah, against AI, it's not a problem. Are you trying to do missions and stuff with this, or are you just trying to move stuff around?
Stuff around.
Then you shouldn't be really running into any drones. There is distribution missions where you might run into, if you're doing distribution missions, I think at the level 4, there's one mission you can get that does have AI you need to kill. But from what I read, because I was actually reading up on this the other day, because I was, I always thought it'd be cool to play, Euro Truck Simulator in space. But from what I understand, people just go ahead and pick a PvE ship that can carry the amount of hold it needs to do that mission. From what I understand, there's no PvE or there's no distribution missions that even require you to shoot things besides that one, and people don't even use the regular frame for that mission. So
that's the 5 missions in a row one, at least here at the Galanti side, where you.
So that's the storyline missions. If you're doing 5 in a row, that's a EVE storyline. That's not a regular contract you get from them. You don't have to do those. There is more of a skill increase with them.
That's a regular contract.
Okay.
Believe me.
In that case, I would just suggest taking a different ship into the situation where you're going to be fighting AI.
Well, I'm flying my distributors currently with my destroyer that I have from the beginner's missions. So I'm pretty safe.
Okay. By the way, quick question for people that do frequent the Discord. Has anybody seen Tigridia Rodnik in a while? He's still in the corp. It says he's the mining foreman, but I haven't actually seen him in quite a while. Has anybody had contact with him?
He did just lose a porp recently. Maybe he got discouraged.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and message. I just haven't seen him. I'm just going over the list of the leadership stuff because a bit of it needs to be updated and stuff. So, because I know Ariel's taking a bit of a breather with the recruitment and stuff. He's had some personal life stuff come into play, and obviously we had some other people have with that last situation, things have been switched around a bit. So.
I think I will execute the Discord so I can actually view YouTube videos while playing Eve.
Okay. Yeah, just if you have any questions, feel free to ask anyone.